Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the Say What podcast. My name is Hanna, and on this podcast, we like to talk about things that people don't want to talk about, like toxic purity culture, marriage, sex, talk a lot about sex, which we will in this episode. So if you're listening to this around your children, you probably want to turn it off and come back later, but come back later, for real, come back later. Sex, marriage, relationships, girly things. It's a really fun time over here at the Say What podcast. You guys, it is almost fall. I know that if you live anywhere in the South, it is still 80 degrees. However, we have had 75-degree days, and I am so grateful. I'm literally wearing my Taylor Swift folklore cardigan that I did get the very first round of cardigans. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And I am wearing the cardigan, and I'm just saying that it's fall. It is fall. I'm so ready for it to be cold. I am so ready to do all of my Christian Pinterest girl fall things. You will see me at a pumpkin patch. You will see me at apple picking. You will see me at a Halloween little fall festival situation. You are going to see me doing all the fall things. I'm not missing an opportunity. I'm already drinking the pumpkin spice lattes. I am doing it. I'm leaning into my Christian girl fall. It's just happening because last year during fall, I was unwell. We had just moved across the country. I was not sleeping because my child was not sleeping. So I was just unwell. And then I broke my leg. So, I'm really leaning in to fall this year, and I will be doing everything. I believe it's the best time of the year. Formula One is back. Truly praise God for that, because this last month where they've had their summer break has just been so long without Formula One. And if you're like, Hannah, I'm tired of hearing about Formula One, I'm a girly, I need you to lean in, because if you think that car racing is like NASCAR with Formula One, you're so wrong. So I'm cannot watch NASCAR. They just go around in a circle and it's pretty boring. Formula One is not that. The tracks are so cool. The courses that they race on are so cool. The fashion amongst the drivers is so classy, so fun to watch. The drivers are really cool. It's a very classy sport. They spray champagne at the end. So it's not like your redneck dreams. I mean, nothing against rednecks, and I don't know if you can say that anymore, but I'm saying it because I grew up in the South and feel like I can say redneck, but it's not that. It's classy European, just real international. It's just really fun to watch. So Formula One is back. Thank the Lord. I love my Saturday mornings where we get to watch qualifying, and then Sunday afternoons when we watch the race. It's the best part of my weekend. Football is almost back. I mean, this is turning into a sports podcast. Here we are. Football is coming back, and I've always enjoyed watching football. I like going to the games. I like watching it on TV with my husband. It's just a fun activity to do. But now that we have Taylor in the football world, chef's kiss, couldn't be any better. It is almost time for Taylor to be with Travi at the big game, and I can't wait for her. I can't wait. I need to see her on my screen as much as possible. I need to see her and Travis in love. I'm just so excited, and I love college football. We are Clemson fans in this house. Don't ask me a single thing about how Clemson's doing. I couldn't tell you, but I do like Clemson. We'll be cheering for them this year. So I'm just so excited. It's going to be the best. It's the best time of the year is here. I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed with Christmas and birthday, because Tate's birthday is on Christmas Day. And this year he's more of a person and knows what's happening. He is so grown up. He's a full adult now, and it's Christmas and it's his birthday. It's the same day. And so I got to get to planning. I got stuff to do. I need to go ahead and buy his either Christmas or birthday present, because I just need to go ahead and not do all of that at one time. Christmas time is already expensive, and so if you add his birthday on top of that, it's expensive. So I need to go in and go ahead and add or figure out what I'm going to do and shop for that, so it's not all at one time. But I'm so ready. It's the best time of the year. It's the best time of the year, and I'm so excited. Catch me drinking something pumpkin every single day. And don't judge me for it, because I am basic. But basic things are basic because everybody loves them. So it's not it's a bad thing, okay? It's the best. I'm still having a hair crisis. I just had to pause my video to make sure that my hair looked okay, because in the camera it looked awful. But, we're just living our best life with my hair over here. It's fine. I'm still having a crisis about it. I will move on, and we're just not going to talk about that, because you guys are so tired of hearing about my hair. It's honestly making me sound vain the more I talk about how I hate my hair. It's just hair. It's fine. Move on. I'm having to tell myself that. Today is an advice column episode, which I love doing. We had some really good questions this time, and it really just covers everything. Like, we are talking about so many different topics today. Like, it's really fun, really good. So buckle up. I'm giving you the big sister advice. This is going to be some advice that you might not want to hear. And this is advice that maybe you're like, okay, I needed to hear that. It's a really fun time. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist, but I am just going to give you the advice that I feel like you need based on what I can read about your situation. So here we go. We are starting off like with a bang. So again, if you have children in the car, this podcast got to go. Question 1. Literally how to give a blowjob because homegirl struggles so bad. It's gross and I can't stand pre-cum taste. I gag every time. I've been married for 3 years and I can count on one hand how many times I've tried because I just hate it so much. But I want to do it for him, to be fair. Okay, I get it. Props to you for wanting to be fair. I totally understand. Like, he's doing stuff to you and you're like, let me get this back to you. I'm sure that you love it so much. So I totally get like wanting to do this for him, but also know like if you don't want to do this, that's okay. Like, he probably is like super enjoying your sex life and is having a blast, and he's probably not missing out on anything because you're not giving him a blowjob. So take a breather. It's fine. Have you spoken to him about this? I also want to know that. Like, have y'all talked about it? Does he know where you stand with it? Because you might just be in your head like, oh, I really want this to be fair. I know he wants this really bad, but he's over here like, we're having great sex, love the hand jobs, love the sex that we're having. So like, I truly don't care, and I love doing that for you. Like, I know that guys really do enjoy like giving that stuff to their partner because it's like fun for them, it's hot for them. And so he probably is just like having a fun time doing that to you and not thinking like, oh, I wish she would do this for me. So you need to talk about it with him, number 1, and like find out where he stands on it. Cause he could just be like, I literally don't care. You don't have to do this. And then you don't have to do it. And then yay, you don't have to do it. If he is like, that would be like fun. Like, I think I'd really enjoy it if you could, but like no big deal if you can't. Here's my advice to you for that if you're going to keep trying. So number 1 is you need to hold your breath. Like, when you're about to go down on him, like, you need to hold your breath because that will help. Like, if you can't smell it, it kind of takes away some of the taste, I think. Like, I have found that helps best. And don't do like a and then go down because that's like super dramatic. Just like hold your breath. Like, don't, make it a big deal, but just hold your breath. And then that helps. Also, give him a hand job at the same time you're giving a blowjob because that way you don't have to go as deep, and that can really help with like the gagging part where you're not going to gag because you're not going as deep. So if you give a hand job while you give a blowjob, there's a lot going on. They like how that feels. And then whenever you take a break, 'cause that's my next tip, is to take breaks. Don't feel like you have to be down there for 45 minutes. Like, you just go down a little bit, come up, but you're still giving him a hand job. So that way he is like enjoying it still, We're getting so detailed here. Like, who am I? Am I turning in to call her daddy? No, but I'm just like here to help. Okay. So just know that's what we're doing with this podcast. But like, you need to take breaks. You need to put your hand on it. So that way you're doing that at the same time. And then when you like come up for air or like just to take a second, you're still like giving him a hand job. So he's still like enjoying the whole experience. So take breaks, use your hand, hold your nose. And yeah, I think like, he's probably just enjoying that y'all are having sex in general, and he's probably not thinking about it. So just like let that, be at ease in your mind. But if you're wanting to, that is my advice. Don't feel like you have to go all the way down. Don't feel like it has to be long. Seriously, at all. Like the whole like blowjob session doesn't have to be long. Like, even while you're actually doing it, it doesn't have to be that long. He's probably enjoying just getting a little bit. So like, I truly would not worry about it. But those are my tips to you. Hold your breath, hand job while it's happening, and take breaks. Like, don't feel like you have to be down there for a really long time. There's your advice for that. So fun talking about blowjobs, early in the morning. It's a great time. But I love your questions. This is what we're here for. This is what the girlies are talking about. Next question. What was your experience going from a tampon or pad to cup? Did it hurt? How did you know what cup to try, etc.? So let me like walk you down memory lane. I remember, probably at this point, like 7 years ago, maybe, I was living with my roommate and she was using the Diva cup. And I just remember telling her, I was like, I could never. Like, no, like, why would I ever use that? Like, why would I get involved with my period blood? That sounds disgusting. Like, I'm just not doing it. And she was like, it's really not that bad. Like, I don't know. Like, she wasn't like trying to push it or anything. We were just talking about it one day and she was like, it's really not that bad. Like, I like it because it saves me money and it doesn't like hurt going in, and it is like better for your body. Like, I think it's great. And I was like, I'm never going to try that. Fast forward a couple years, I'm doing this podcast and I'm like thinking like maybe I should try a cup. And Pixie Cup is a brand that I've tried. I've really only tried their cups because one day they're like, oh, let me send a cup to you. So they sent a cup to me and I tried it. I just was like, you know what? I'm in this world. I might as well just try the cup. Let's see if it works. At this point, I was already super comfortable with my body because years and years ago when we first talked about it with my roommate, I was just like really not comfortable with my body. I don't even think I knew what my vulva was. Like I was just not in tune with my body. Once you go through pelvic floor physical therapy, nothing's off limits. Like you know your body, you know how it works. Like you are really intimate with your own body when you go through pelvic floor physical therapy. And so I was just like, yeah, might as well give it a try. So Pixie Cup, which I love their brand. This is not an ad. This was literally a question. But I do love them. And you can get a discount if you use my link. So I guess this is like an affiliate brand or affiliate deal. But I love their brand because they give back a cup every time you buy. So if you buy a cup from them, they will give a cup to somebody in need. And they're a Christian company. And I just have like worked one-on-one with their like social media manager before. And anytime I've messaged with them, they are seriously so great, so kind. Like I really love them so much. Like they've just always been so supportive of the podcast. I've even had like other like really big cup brands like want to work with me. And I've just been like, you know what? I love Pixie Cup so much. Like I want to like be loyal to this small company. They're Christians. Actually, they're probably not a small company. I think they're big. So let me back up. Like I'm not trying to like make them smaller than they are. So hold on. I don't mean that. But it's just like, you know, the ones that you see in Target, like I've tried. And I should try their cup just to like give other options because some people may not work with Pixie Cup, like their cup specifically. But I just love it. I love my Pixie Cup. I've tried different sizes. Like before I had a baby, I was using their smallest cup, which was their teen cup. And then post baby, I'm just using their size small. I recently tried their disc and I'm not going to give a full review on that yet because I think I need to try it for another period before I give a full review because I had a little bit of leaking. It was the most comfortable thing I've ever worn, but I did have some leaking and I've tried their different sizes and I think I just need to work with it a little bit more because it's a little bit different. So I'm not going to give my full review on that yet, but I just decided to try the cup one day because I was like, what's it going to hurt? And it like changed my life. When they sent the cup and I tried it, like my cramps that I was experiencing went away. Like it truly helped the cramping that I was having so much. It saves you money. It's a one-time purchase. So you don't have to buy tampons every month. You know, it's a one-time purchase and it's better for the environment. They give back to their community and it's really, for me personally, was really easy to insert once I figured it out. Like once I learned how to like push it down and kind of get it into this like position and insert it, I would insert it and then I twist it a little bit and then it's good to go. Like it's in, like once the seal opens and I can wear it for 8 hours. Dumping it really isn't that bad. Like you have to be kind of comfortable with your period blood because like you see it, but I dump it into the trash can. I wipe it off. I dump it into the toilet. I put my little cup under the sink and it's fine. Like it really is so easy. It's helped my cramps so much. I've talked to my sister about it. Like she loves it now. My friends use them. They love it now. It's just like saves you money and it just fits better. And it's just like all this stuff coming out about tampons being toxic. This could not be a better time to try a cup. And I do get you, oh gosh, I should have looked this up before. It's either 10, 15, or 20% off. I think it's 15%, but I will definitely link that in the episode notes. But I truly can't sing Pixie Cup's praises enough. Like I love their company. They've been so great to work with and I'm always about like supporting great companies truly. So I love you, Pixie Cup, so much. They have just been a stable like supporter here at Say What and I just couldn't be more grateful. So that's what I love. And even if they didn't reach out, I think I would still work with their company just because I love all of the information they put out there. Like I love all of the like programs that they have with giving back. They're Christians. They're great. I love them. Okay. So that was my experience going from that. I will say it did take some time to get used to the blood because like with a tampon, you just like pour it, like you pull it out and you trash it. And so you didn't really have to see what was going on, but with the cup, like you're pulling the cup out and you're dumping the blood. Like it's a seamless transition. Like you pull the cup out and you dump, but like it's in the toilet. And if you clot anything like me, I used to not clot and then I had a baby and now I clot. If you have blood clots that are coming out, that's gross. I'm not going to lie to you. Like it's not a fun experience. It's also so funny with what I do because I just like behind the scenes info here. So my husband and I have a 2-sink bathroom, and his sink is the one that's next to the toilet. And I've been trying out the small cup, or the small period disc, or the small menstrual disc, and the large disc. And then I was just like having a really rough day, and I was like, I can't deal with trying to figure this out right now, so I'm going to use my cup. And so I got my cup, and I like set them all next to his sink, and he literally is like, what is happening here? Like, when did this turn into the menstrual cup store? Like, when did this turn into the period store? And like, all these are just on display right next to my sink. Like, what are we doing here? And I was like, you are just married to a woman who is trying to figure out which kind of cup she wants to use for her period. Calm down. Anyway, I thought it was really funny. Maybe it's a you had to be there story. All right. Next question. This is from one of the few men who listen to Say What podcast. So, my wife is dealing with vaginismus. Your episodes have helped a lot. I'm so glad. That's so great. Thank you guys for listening, and I'm glad they have been helpful. I'm wondering what I can do as her husband to help her through and support her emotionally and spiritually. She's using dilators and was told that if it didn't help in a few months to go find a pelvic floor physical therapist. So I'm so glad that you're like writing in and like trying to support her, because that is so important. Like, truly having the support of my husband was the biggest thing, like the biggest help in getting through my vaginismus journey. So what I would say to you is to keep encouraging her the way that you have been. Do not pressure her to do anything that she's not comfortable with or not ready to do. Like, don't say like, oh, I can't wait for the days that we can have sex, because that's like kind of hurtful to her. And I'm sure like you say this in like, you know, a very nice and kind way, but don't say things like, I can't wait till we get to have sex because like it's going to be the greatest thing ever, because then that makes her feel bad that like it's not happening yet. You just need to go at her pace. So you need to be super supportive. Let her know, like, whenever you're ready to try stuff, I'm here. But I would recommend not just being like, do you want to try today? Do you want to do this today? Do you want to do this today? Like, let her lead this, so that way she doesn't feel just like extra like bad or extra shame about like not getting to experience intercourse with you yet. So I just recommend like, let it be at her lead. Like, she needs to lead this. Remind her that you're here for her. Remind her that you love her. As far as like spiritually, just be praying for this. That's so powerful. Like, prayer is so powerful. So continue praying that she can experience healing. I will say, I don't know who told her about the dilators and then a pelvic floor physical therapist, but I do think she needs to swap that and like go to pelvic floor physical therapy and then use dilators. I think pelvic floor physical therapy is probably the fastest way to experience healing versus using dilators. And so I would recommend that she looks into that. I think that's something that you could offer her. Hopefully she's like a part of this community as well, and you can send that information to her. But I recommend that she does pelvic floor physical therapy and does that before, alongside using dilators. But just like continue to let her lead this, let her know you're here for her and that you love her and you're not going anywhere. That's a big thing. Continually like tell her how much you love her and how great she is and how much you love the intimacy life that you have, even if intercourse isn't involved. I think that's really encouraging, because obviously, but when you are dating and you're about to get married, like, you think about your sex life and what that's going to be like and how excited you are. And no one thinks about like, well, what if it doesn't work out? And then they're like really sad about that. Like, you don't think about that. You're just like, oh yeah, we're going to be able to have sex and it's great. And so when it doesn't happen, it's so disappointing, but you still can have a fulfilling, intimate life, physically intimate life. And so I would just remind her like that you love what you guys are doing now. And if you're able to get to intercourse, great. But like, this is really like, you love it. Like, just continuing to encourage her in that way is 100% key. But you got this. Thanks for writing in. A supportive husband. We love that. Next question. This is about birth control. I'm on birth control, but still haven't been able to have sex with my husband. I'm very nervous about getting pregnant because we don't want kids, but being on birth control has killed any sort of sex drive that was there before. I have gone to pelvic floor therapy and feel ready to try again, but my birth control is not helping with wanting to try. But again, I don't want to get pregnant, and not having the extra support of being on birth control makes me very nervy. Just looking for some advice or what to do. Thanks. I totally get this. Like, when Thomas and I first got married, I mean, we knew we wanted kids someday, but when we first got married, I was just like so paranoid about getting pregnant that I was just like, we could never miss a birth control. And I'm like, just so scared about this. Like, I don't want to be pregnant right now. And so I totally get that. But I will say, like, any kind of birth control that's hormonal truly just kills your sex drive. Like, that's just kind of is what it is. That's kind of where it's at. And I hate to say that. Like, I don't want, like, you to be discouraged by me saying that. I'm just being honest. It does kill your sex drive. But as far as getting pregnant, like, I think it'd be really good for you to study like the actual like mechanics or details around like getting pregnant, because there's only a couple days that you can get pregnant a month. And so it's like your fertile window is like 5 to 7 days a month. And so there's only those, so many days that you can get pregnant. And so if you're like really wanting to have sex with your husband, but you feel like the birth control is like getting in the way of that and you have no sex drive, like, I really recommend condoms. It was a couple episodes ago, I just talked about like, we need to bring condoms back. Like, they obviously, nothing is 100% and there's always a chance. But if you're using condoms, you can avoid having sex your fertile window, and then you can use condoms the other time just to be safe, and you're good to go. Like, the Skyn condoms truly feel like nothing is there. They are fantastic. I can't sing their prices enough. It's protected me against pregnancy for a year now. Like, it's been great. So I definitely recommend the Skyn condoms if you are wanting to like get off the birth control, because trying to find a sex drive on birth control is hard. It's not impossible. I recommend, if there is like at any moment you feel like the sex drive is there, like, you need to lean into that. If it's 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon, you and your husband are like out shopping, like, you need to go home and have sex. Like, I seriously think it's so important to lean into that like arousal when it's there. And so if you're able to, hopefully it doesn't happen at like, lunchtime when you're at work, but lean into it when it's there and really like give into that. And also just know, like, if you're scared to try intercourse or you're scared to like get pregnant, like, there are other ways that you guys can have sex. It doesn't have to just be intercourse, and that can be really helpful and really fulfilling in your life. But I don't know, the birth control part is really hard. So I understand that you're really nervous about getting pregnant because you guys don't want kids, but maybe I think that might be your answer, is like getting off the hormonal birth control. And because if you're not having sex right now because the birth control is killing you, then like you're kind of on it for no reason. And so if you get off it, then you can use condoms and you can actually have a sex drive, and then you're still protected. You can even be like over the top about it if you want. You can use condoms and pull out. I just think that there's other ways to not get pregnant and not have to be on the hormonal birth control. So, and I know there's like non-hormonal birth control, like the copper IUD, but I don't know what that does as far as sex drive. I just know that hormonal birth control truly just like kills your sex drive. Unfortunately, there is a product from Mixers called Her Pleasure that is supposed to help increase sex drive. I think that when I take it like regularly, it really does help like increase sex drive. Like, I'm thinking about it more, and I think it's really great. And I can link that in the episode notes for you to look at as well. Alrighty, next question. Hi, I initially followed you because of Vaginismus content. I am coming up on my 1-year anniversary, September 2nd, but we have had a really hard time figuring out what intimacy looks like in marriage. It started with vaginismus, which led to an expectation of frustration anytime we tried anything, to my husband basically having no sex drive. I had a lot of eagerness to figure things out and went to an OBGYN and to pelvic floor therapy, but soon became discouraged because I knew my goal wasn't to get to the biggest dilator, it was to eventually have sex with my husband, but it honestly feels so out of reach. I still feel like I have a pretty normal sex drive, which has also complicated things. We both grew up not talking about these things, so communication is tricky, although I feel like I've gotten over a lot of the awkwardness because of PT. We would love to meet with a Christian sex therapist, but we live in a small town in Wyoming, so that isn't really a thing, nor is counseling ministries and churches. I feel hopeless and we don't know what steps to take forward. So congrats on your anniversary. That's super exciting. 1 year. You've done a lot. That's awesome. So I really think that you guys need to change your expectation of sex. I really think right now, if you're struggling to have any kind of intercourse, let's just like take it off the table. We need like a reset with your intimate time. That way you don't have this like mental block in your head that it's going to be frustrating because it's not going to work. So we just need to take maybe intercourse off the table for a minute. And you guys need to like fall back in love with doing things other than that and redefining what sex is in your marriage, because sex is meant to be loving, brings you guys together, brings, 2 to 1. And there are ways to bring 2 to 1 that are not like penis and vagina. And so I really want to encourage you guys to like lean into that part of your, sex life, like having it, oral, hands, using the penis in other ways, like there's other things that you can do that aren't necessarily like penis and vagina. And Christian Friendly Sex Positions has like great inspo for that if you're looking for like what positions that you guys can do that's not penis and vagina. But I think we just needed like a reset of your intimate time together and it not be like focused on if we can have intercourse or not. Like we need to redefine what physical intimacy looks like for you. And then as far as like you feeling really eager to get this like healed, like it takes time. And I'm so proud of you for going ahead and figuring out what's going on with this. Like you literally was like, okay, sex hurt. I went to the doctor and I went to pelvic floor therapy. Like that is fantastic. But it also sounds like you need a different pelvic floor therapist because if they're just like focusing on you getting to a certain size dilator, that's not necessarily like what you're trying to do. Like you even said that you weren't trying to do that. So I think it's time to find a new pelvic floor physical therapist, honestly, because it doesn't sound like the one that you're at is the right one for you to be with. And so I recommend finding a new pelvic floor physical therapist. The way that you also said like your goal isn't the biggest dilator, it's to be intimate with your husband. That is something that our friend Jess with Pain-Free Intimacy talks about a lot. And so I would look at her and maybe if you can't find another pelvic floor therapist, maybe working with her because she's a vaginismus coach and this is like right up her alley. So I would do that. And we really need to like reset your expectations. We need to take intercourse off the table, really focus on what other ways that you guys can have physical intimacy. And as far as the Christian therapist stuff, I totally understand like living in a small town where you like don't have a lot of access to things. That's probably your case with pelvic floor physical therapy as well. And so I recommend getting online. Like there are so many on like therapists that will meet with you virtually that you don't have to go anywhere. And Psychology Today is a great resource for that. You can specify that you're looking for Christian therapists and you can specify that you're looking for a remote setup. And so I highly recommend that. Like don't let living in a small town like stop you because the internet is great and has so many resources for you. And so I would look at that to also help out as well because you did mention that you're interested in that. So Psychology Today is a great resource for you. But as far as like what to do, like we need to hold out hope. It's not going to be like this forever. I totally understand like getting to a place where you feel hopeless and like it's never going to change. That is a total like common belief during the healing from painful sex. That's totally common to feel hopeless and like it's not going to change, but it can change. It's not going to be like this forever. I want you to know that. I want to encourage you so much and that it's not going to be this way forever. You are doing the right things of trying to experience healing and it just takes time. It just takes time. This is one of those things that we're having to completely rewire your like brain chemistry and rewire your pelvic floor muscles to understand that it's not going to hurt when something is inserted. And that just takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. At this point, your body is conditioned to it hurting. And so reconditioning that is going to take some time to get to the point where it's healed. It took me 7 months to experience healing. And for some people, it takes a year. Some people, it takes 2. Like it just takes some time to get to that place. But I think we need to reset expectations about sex. Sex is so much more than just like the intercourse part of it. It's so connecting emotionally. It's connecting spiritually. Like it's a celebration of your marriage. And while yes, like we want to get to that point because that's a goal that you have, like I really want to work on your expectations right now and understand like you can still experience that love and connection and closeness while doing other things right now. So let's just like take this off the table for a minute and really focus on that time together. And you can be super spicy with that being the only thing that you do. There's things like massage candles, sex toys. There is lingerie that you can lean into, like Mentionables. You need to look at that. Mentionables has like little games that you guys can play together that's still like romantic and loving. There's like dice games and like card games and just like things that you can do that's still like spicy and like keeping it fun without it being penis and vagina sex. You know, like there are other things that you can do to help really keep that like fun spark that you're wanting to have alive there, and that can really help like boost up the sex drive as well, because when you're having fun and things are pleasurable, that does lead to wanting to have sex more when it's really good. So I recommend that, and I think it's going to be great. I think you really can overcome this, but why don't we try those things? You know, finding a new pelvic floor therapist that maybe fits better with your goals. If you can't find that, working with Jess. She works with patients all over. I think she's in Florida, but she can work with anybody. So highly recommend that. She's Pain-Free Intimacy on Instagram. I'll probably link her below. So I recommend that, and you got this. Last question. This is one from one of our younger listeners, so that's fun. Hey, so I'm 18 and 1 week from moving out for university. For some reason, I decided to move across the country to do so. I'm a Canadian girly, so from Ontario to British Columbia. So fun that you're in Canada. Hi. I love that. I've never been to Canada. While the idea of this is exciting because it is adventurous and there are mountains and ocean and everything, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. I am terrified, and no one knows this. I tell everyone how excited I am, but deep down, I'm so scared I will hate it or I'll fail my classes or be completely alone. I'm also so scared to leave my family. I have 4 siblings and 2 wonderful parents I have to leave behind. I'm a major homebody and find it so hard to relax when away from home. I know that this is a good opportunity for growth, to trust the Lord and rely on Him, and to make meaningful relationships with others. But I'm worried because a large part of me thinks this is the wrong decision. How do I be more at peace with this and adjust better to being away from home? How do I cope with not seeing my mom every day? I guess all I want is to find my home away from home. I appreciate any prayers and hope you have some great advice. I know a lot of these nerves are normal and okay, but want to be reassured about the next chapter of my life. This is so normal. Like, I'm so glad that you wrote in, and I'm so glad that you said like you understand that this is normal. This is so normal. Like, this is so normal. I wasn't 18 when I moved across the country, but I literally moved 24 hours away from my family, and it was the best thing I could have done at the time in my life. I think this is going to be the best move for you. You get to experience the world and get to make new relationships, build new friends. Like, I think you are about to have the time of your life, and I'm so excited for you. Like, even reading your message when you said how scared you are, I still feel like I can feel your excitement. Like, I don't want you to think that because you're scared, that means that you're making the wrong decision. Doing big things is really scary. It's really terrifying. But great news, you're going to college. So you're going to a place where everyone else is experiencing the same exact thing you're going through. You're all terrified. You're all wanting to make friends. So this is a great experience for you to get to make new friends with people who are going through the same thing you are. And what's great about the time that we live in is that there's the internet, and you can make so many friends through Facebook groups. So you need to join a Facebook group as soon as you get to university. I know in like the US, every college has so many clubs and groups. I'm sure it's the same thing there. So you need to, the minute you step on campus, like, you need to get the flyers. Like, you need to go to whatever group fits like what you're into. You need to join a group. You need to join a club. You need to join like whatever thing there is for people to do. You need to join that. You said that you're a Christian, so you need to plug into your local church, and you need to join a small group. Like, I need you to be in as many groups as possible. Like, you are about to make so many friends. So I need you to join a club, join a group at your school, join a small group, join some Facebook groups. Literally search like your college and like on Facebook, and usually some groups will show up. Or like new to, let's see, you moved to British Columbia, like new to BC. I'm sure that's a Facebook group, like new girls to BC. Like, you need to join those Facebook groups so you can find your people. Like, we need to get you a community as fast as possible, and that will help you like not feel so scared and alone. But just know, like, this is the time of your life. You're also going to college, so you're going to be busy, and being busy is good. Like, you've got work that you have to do, and that's going to keep you distracted from like thinking about your parents. And also know that like FaceTime exists. Like, you can call them as much as you want. And, you know, when I think about like moving and it's like to a new scary thing, like far away from your family, it's like, okay, let's say we do move and I do end up hating it. The worst thing that can happen is that you get to like move back home, and it's fine. Like, that's one of the beautiful things about like moving, is like you can always move back. And so I don't want that to like stay in the back of your mind. That's like, oh, I can leave at any point. But just know, like, if things are not what you thought they would be after giving it some time and like trying your best, like if it's not what you thought it would be, you can move back, and it's fine. There's no shame in that at all. But I'm just so excited for this next chapter of your life. Like, it's going to be so exciting. I just know that you're going to meet so many friends. Like, if you're in this community, like, you're a fun girly, like, you're going to meet so many new friends. I'm sure you're going to have some roommates, and those can be instant friends. But like, we need you to be like in your social era. Like you said, you're a homebody, but we need to branch out just a little bit and be in your social era. And I need you to like join the clubs, join the groups. Like, you're going to be okay. This is so normal. You are not making the wrong decision. This is so brave of you also to like move across your country and do this. Like, that's so brave. And I'm so proud of you for like taking a step like that and being so brave. But you've got this. Like, you're about to enter the most fun time of your life. Like, your college friends are sometimes the friends that you will have for the rest of your life. And how exciting is that you get to do that and you get to be on your own. And I understand like being away from your mom is so hard, but also know like university is usually only 4 years. And so it's not like you're going to be away from her forever. You can go back And it's just going to be great. You're going to be so busy with all the clubs that you're going to join and your homework and going to class and like being involved in your church and serving on a team at church that you're not even going to like think about them. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be busy and fun and like living life, and you're not going to be thinking about like what's happening at home. And if you are, there's FaceTime, there's texting, and they're going to come visit you too. And like, you can also go visit them like during the summer. So it's going to be great. Like, I'm so excited for you. Know that this is so normal, but like, keep being brave. Like, you can do this. And just know that all the other girls that are in your dorm are feeling the same way. And there's something so comforting knowing that like everyone else is just as scared as you are. Okay? You've got this. I love you. Okay, those are all the questions that we have time for today. There were other questions that I wasn't able to get to, and I'm so sorry. This is all we have time for today. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. I just love that we, talked to a little 18-year-old girl about moving. She's not little, but talking to an 18-year-old about moving to college, and we talked about blowjobs. So you never know what you're going to get here on this podcast, and that's what keeps it fun. But I love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and we will talk soon.